Hey guys, so happy to talk to you. I'm Sadie. If you don't know me, go back to my other videos. I enjoy getting to know people. I absolutely love being in a fellowship and getting to know new people. I'm a nurse. I'm an oncology nurse, and I work once a week due to a entrepreneurship university in which I submerged myself 1,000% 10 years ago. And when the pandemic happened, I had the opportunity of basically going back and serving, and I'm very thankful to be able to do that. I attend to hematology, like blood related issues, as well as oncology issues, and I'm very thankful and honored to be able to do that along with an amazing team that I enjoy. Absolutely thankful to God for having put these people in my life. I wanted to talk about some questions. I know I've been getting a lot of them. Thank you so much for your messages. And basically, so I met my husband when I was 15 years old. He is an amazing man. I honestly, I can't complain. If I do, like my dad would say, that would be sinful. I'm a Christian. I enjoy getting to know other Christians, and also meeting new families that ultimately share the same passionate things that we do. Growing up, we came from South America, from Venezuela, and getting to know an entire different world was crazy. Our parents were extremely, if you think your parents are strict, like turning on the TV on Friday nights was a sin. So believe me, I've heard it all. And it just gave us the opportunity of sharing and loving and being one with God. And so we're very thankful for that. My father was a pastor, and because of that reason, we just gravitated towards, theistic issues, and we're thankful for that. I got to go to a boarding school when I was 16. My husband and I had been in a relationship for about a year. And I lasted about 9 months. I just wanted to be home and be with my family. It was a lot of culture shocks, and I'm thankful for having had that amazing opportunity. It was located in Hamburg, Pennsylvania, and altogether, it just taught me such great things. They taught us how to sew, how to do all these things, how to have an amazing GPS, a great work ethic. And it just prepared us a little bit ahead. And so people didn't understand a lot of stuff, and we had a lot of people that just wanted to be brats, and I just wanted to have a 4.0 GPA, and I enjoyed having that in my life. Parents believed in the education system. They thought that was the only way. Sadly, my mom indebted herself over $200,000 of student debt. She couldn't pass her boards, unfortunately, and that's the sad reality, the fact that education is no longer providing any type of lifestyle. And when I was 26, I saw this opportunity, and I saw it by people that had been ahead of us. Their homes were over $700,000. They were paid cash. And this is 10 years ago. And so I remember thinking, I better listen to what they're saying, because they're ahead of my family and I, and that's the life that I want. And so I had already gone to school. I had already put myself in $200,000 of student debt as well, passed my NCLEX exam, the nursing exam, in the first try. I honestly don't even know how that happened. That was God all the way 1,000%. And thankfully, because of that reason, we got to live a really good lifestyle, followed by retiring at 28 until I was about 36, until the pandemic came, and I felt like I had a calling. And I was very thankful to serve at this hematology and oncology center where I am once a week, and thankfully because of that, we've created some really cool relationships all along. I remember being that young, barely having finished my degrees. I was so thankful, but I dug myself in such a negative place because of the debt that I didn't have a life. I would take shifts before work, after work. If I had a lunch hour, I would try to do something. And so when this was brought on to me, I understood that there was a potential opportunity that I had to earn. I had to go to these mentors who had the fruit on the tree of the life that I wanted to. And I was thankful because it is the 2%, thankfully. And they told me something very simple. They said, if you follow man, and they have the fruit on the tree, that's gonna be you in 10 years. They also said, look at your boss, look at their lifestyle, and then see if that's what you want. And so when I saw that, I remember thinking, they're divorced, like this is like the third or fourth marriage, up to 5 marriages, and they live at work. They don't have a life. They don't have a significant other. Their whole life became work. And I knew for a fact that I couldn't be that person, that I wanted to be home with my children, that I wanted more. And ultimately we came to this country to be able to do that. So that was my thought process when I came out of the university into the world of working. Another thing that caught my attention, and again, I want to ask you, young person or even somebody who's seasoned in the workforce, I understood, and this is 10 years ago, so this influencer stuff, this world of social media, it wasn't that big of a deal back then. We were actually told that it was sinful and weird to be in social media. And so long story short, I remember sitting there like, I have to pay back my student loans. I have to be able to be home with my family, because my mom did get to be a stay-home wife for a very long time. And I wanted that life. And I remember thinking in my 26, 27-year-old mind, like, if I don't get this done, and if I don't listen to the people, not my college professors who did not know, I took a business class in Stanford, they did not know how to balance a checkbook correctly. And why would you learn how to balance a checkbook, right? They didn't know anything about stocks. They didn't know about, cryptocurrency, which is not what they call it. And I'm not involved in this. I support everybody who is 1,000% go for it. And I remember thinking, this world is moving on at light speed, and if I don't catch on, I'm gonna have a bad life. And so coming from another world, from another way of thinking, I remember thinking, I have dug myself in so much student debt that I can't even buy the house of my dreams. And so it was really funny, because they said, if you write down your life backwards and you plan it, you're gonna have an amazing life. And that's one thing that really caught my attention. And of course there were things along the way that makes it so basically we call it resistance, like things that we haven't heard. Like if you have a Wall Street, because I'm close to the city, to New York City, like one of the best stocks, cryptocurrency, this and that, and again, I'm not involved in that endeavor, more power to you guys. I understood that the school systems were about a good 40 to 50 years behind, and whatever we were paying, $200,000, was literally not gonna get us ahead. You would eventually become the teacher who was still in debt, who had a bunch of marriages that were failed. And I'm thankful. I didn't have a sugar daddy. I didn't have a rich dad. My dad was a preacher, a pastor, and although he was highly educated, he barely made like $43,000, $44,000 after taxes. And so I want you to think about your life as a writer. I want you to sit there and think about what your future dream life is going to be like if money was no object. And what would you do? Because you go through something called the new rich, where you buy super expensive and fancy things that you don't need, but to each their own. You live a very lavish lifestyle, and then you realize when you go to Morocco for a month, again, all expenses paid, that there's so much poverty in the world and that you need to help more people. So it becomes a personal conviction. And that's when I realized that my life could change significantly, that I could change and alter the future of my children, my husband, and my grandchildren, and so on. And so that's when I made a decision to not listen to my friends that were partying, to not be out there at a bar at 4 in the morning, not that I ever did that, to not want to go dancing on a school night. I'm not saying for you not to do that. I'm just saying this is what I put aside to be able to build our empire. And I'm thankful that we have millions of people that are simply walking right by you, and it's by invitation only. And so I'm thankful for that, because I was one of those people that needed help like you wouldn't believe. I was suicidal, you guys.